It wasn't like a book that was a beloved favorite to me, actually, when I was a teenager or anything. It was something. It was a book I had read and that I came back to when our producers suggested it would be kind of right for adaptation right now. And I actually think it was an ideal time because I could approach it with a lens that wasn't just focused on the coming of age side of the story. I could focus on the father-daughter relationship in a different way. I could focus on the women in a different way. I was older, and also I think something that really interested me was some of the characters I felt in the original book and the adaptation, the film adaptation. I felt I could give them a second chance, sort of, in this adaptation. So Elsa's character, for instance, was really fun. She's probably like the biggest departure, and that to me felt like an opportunity.
In all honesty, I had no sense of what this was about. I had never read the book, and I still haven't seen the Seberg film. I'm a little behind. So really, it was just new material, which was kind of, I think, a better way of first, digesting it and reading the script and talking with Durga and her ideas about what she wanted to explore within, women's relationships and femininity and, moving through spaces and just like kind of being. And, I think she has a very sensitive eye, and I was just interested in kind of giving myself over to her. We have a lot of mutual friends in the art world, and she's very respected, and I just am very excited about working with new emerging filmmakers that I feel like have a strong voice and a talent, and I could hear that in her just speaking to her, and I just wanted to be a part of her world and help her, discover her voice and be a vessel. Brett, well, it was a lot of things. I mean, I think that like Anne's backstory, we don't have to go into that, but like Durga and I had kind of like come up with our own, and we also like, took things from the novel, of course, but I was thinking that she had ended up at a certain time in her life alone and had devoted her life to her art and her craft. And I have a lot of close friends that have ended up in that situation and who have also been left for younger women, women my age. And so I am seeing that more and more around me. And at first that was kind of the cliche of it that I was bumping up against and kind of was like, do we want to keep perpetuating this story? But now it's just happening around me constantly. And I'm like, okay, so we are really mining something and it's truthful. But I think, yeah, for me, the complexity of Anne was really like wanting to play the tension, someone that would disrupt and so I had to be a stiffness to her that was delicate and kind of challenging for me because I didn't, she had to be very different from what all these people were playing, but I still wanted to, be at ease and, have a gentleness. So striking that balance I found more challenging than I had anticipated.
That relationship was so important to the narrative of the film and to my character's motivation. Establishing that closeness was really critical to have something to lose once Anne steps in and sort of challenges that, threatens that intimacy and that sort of possessiveness I may have. We were so lucky to have the opportunity to meet up in Cassis, where we shot a few weeks ahead of shooting, to just spend time working over some of the scenes, getting to know each other, sharing dinners, sharing our personal lives, just to sort of build that bond. And I'm so grateful to Clace as my scene partner and my collaborator on this because, that connection formed quite effortlessly, I believe. I'm really grateful to you. Thank you.
Well, it's very much what Lily's saying, because the main attraction for me in this, when I read it the first time, was this father-daughter relationship, because I thought it was quite special. I read it and I thought, this is not something I've ever seen before. That they build sort of a bond that is perhaps even too close, and then when you start to mess around with that really becomes a problem. So I thought that was the core of it, really, and what interested me a lot in this project. And then it was really good I spoke with Durga a lot about this before we met in Cassis. You know how it really wasn't about doing like a lot of improvs, or it was only about just actually spending time together, just to sort of get a sense of each other and just see, because there's always going to be a connection somewhere, and you can use that. And it felt very easy here, and I feel that the backbone of this story is this relationship. This is where everything bounces off. That these two have formed this bond. So I think it seemed to me quite important that we got that right. I did not read the novel till we were well into working this, and it was actually kind of helpful to read the novel, because you could see all the differences, and you can see how this has become a modern relationship with a father and a daughter, because it was so much more conservative in the book, and I felt this is really Durga's doing, sort of seeing how you can take that novel and then do that with it, and work it into something that is 2024, which I really feel it is. But actually reading the novel was that it pointed to those differences in a really cool way and made me aware of them in a way that made it sort of even more obvious to sort of go in that direction. So I felt that, working with it was, Durga was sort of like, just taking her work as a scriptwriter even further as a director. So it was like sort of like very much in there already, I felt.
I loved Françoise Sagan, and I think that was the first things we talked when we met, is because I'm a huge fan of Françoise Sagan, especially another book called Un certain sourire. But I was aware, yes, of it.
Do you not have a tattoo of her on your arm?
I have a tattoo. Yes, but please.
That is like, just to sort of...
Yes, but I can't show it. But yeah, I have a tattoo. It's my first experience in English, so I was very stressed, but they were like so kind, and so there was just love on this set. And Durga was very like, for me, very strong, and she just watched us with love, so makes me feel more confident. Was like a dream for me to be there, actually.
I'm hoping that audiences have private moments with this film that feel unexpected to them. I mean, we paced it in a way, I feel, that requires some patience sometimes, but I actually think an audience could benefit from that. So I hope that some of the slowness catches people off guard and like enters them. I always feel like it's hard to answer a question like that, because when you go to the movies, I feel like you kind of are very present, but you're also a little elsewhere. And I'm hoping that this film speaks to urgencies that people might be having in that moment and don't feel like they're talking about, even if it's just like a gaze on another woman, or remembering that one summer, or remembering that boy. Yeah, I hope people feel there's like an intimacy there. It's not a very loud film, and so I'm hoping that people's experience of it feels like there's a life after they watch it, like they can return to it, or it comes back to them in waves or something.